everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into Hallador Energy Company's latest filing. And trust me, it's not just another dry document. We will unearth how the company is trying to motivate its employees and what shareholders think about it all. Stick around, you might be surprised what we find. Hallador Energy Company recently held its annual meeting where shareholders voted on some key proposals, including a plan to give employees more stock and elect the company's leaders for the next year. We will break down what happened at this meeting and why it matters for anyone interested in the company's future. Oh, and by the way, if you appreciate getting straightforward insights from corporate documents, please subscribe. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Come chat with us there. First off, on May 29, 2025, Hallador Energy Company held its annual meeting. One of the big items on the agenda was a plan to revamp the company's stock unit plan. This plan is all about giving employees a piece of the company through restricted stock units, or RSUs, which are basically promises of stock if certain conditions are met. The shareholders approved the Hallador Energy Company's second amended and restated 2008 restricted stock unit plan, called the Plan. This plan has a couple of main changes. First, it increases the number of shares available by 2 million. Think of it like adding more slices to the pie so more employees can get a piece. Second, it extends the plan's life all the way to May 29, 2035. It means the company can keep using this plan to reward employees for the next decade. Now, if you want all the nitty-gritty details, the company's proxy statement filed with the SEC back in April has all the information. But the important point is that this plan is designed to help Hallador attract and keep talented people by giving them a chance to own part of the company. Basically, it's a way to encourage employees to work hard and stick around. Let's talk numbers. At the annual meeting, a total of 34,782,299 shares were represented, either in person or by proxy. That's about 80.93% of all the shares eligible to vote. So a good majority of shareholders were involved in making these decisions. One of the most important parts of the meeting was electing the board of directors. These are the people who are responsible for making big decisions about the company's future. Shareholders got to vote on who they wanted to represent them on the board. The company had a list of nominees, and the shareholders voted on each one. Several people were elected as directors and will serve until the next annual meeting in 2026 next year. These included Brent K. Bilsland, Zarrell Gray, David C. Hardy, Brian H. Lawrence. David People were elected as directors and will serve until the next annual meeting in 2026 next year. These included Brent K. Bilsland, Zarrell Gray, David C. Hardy, Brian H. Lawrence, David J. Lubar, and Charles R. Wesley IV. Looking at the votes, we can see how much support each nominee got. For example, Brent K. Bilsland received 26,922,970 votes in favour, with 79,296 votes against and 19,870 abstentions, while Zarrell Gray got 23,738,894 9,086 votes against. Brian H. Lawrence received 24,479 4095 votes for 3,235 votes for 3,205 votes, 5,118 votes against. This shows us how shareholders feel about the people leading the company. Another proposal on the table was an advisory vote on executive compensation. This is where shareholders get to weigh in on how much the top executives are being paid. It's non-binding, meaning the company doesn't have to follow the vote, but it's a good way for shareholders to express their opinions. The shareholders approved the compensation of the company's top executives. About 22,045,261 votes were in favour of the compensation packages, while 5,299,818 votes were against, and 399,880 votes were against, and 399,97 shareholders abstained, meaning they chose not to vote either way. This vote gives us a sense of how shareholders feel about the way the company is paying its leaders. The shareholders also voted on the Hallador Energy Company second amended and restated 2008 restricted stock unit plan. About 12,497 votes supported the plan, with 1,215,126 votes against and $5 abstentions. This vote shows that most shareholders are on board with giving employees stock-based awards. This helps align the interests of employees, and shareholders are on board with giving employees stock-based awards. This helps align the interests of employees in 4 5 9 12 4 abstent 215,007. 200 does well, both groups benefit. Finally, shareholders voted to ratify the appointment of Grant Thornton as the company's independent auditor for the current fiscal year. This is a pretty standard procedure where shareholders get to approve who is checking the company's financial statements. A whopping 34,811 votes were cast in favour, with 258,158 votes against and 111,130 abstentions. This overwhelming support means that shareholders trust Grant Thornton to keep an eye on the company's books. This part of the meeting is important because it helps ensure that the company is being transparent about its finances and that an independent expert is making sure everything is on the up and up. Now, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. Hallador Energy is working to keep its employees happy and motivated with these stock plans. By increasing the number of shares available and extending the life of the plan, the company is showing that it's committed to rewarding its employees for their hard work. When employees have a stake in the company's success, they're more likely to stick around and work hard to help the company grow. The few votes from the annual meeting tell us a lot about what shareholders think. They seem to be on board with the company's plans, from executive pay to employee stock options, and this kind of support can give the company confidence to keep moving forward with its strategies. Now, for my opinion, Hallador Energy seems to be on a solid track. The company clearly wants to keep its employees incentivized, and its shareholders mostly agree with the strategy. There aren't any major red flags jumping out from this report, so that's encouraging. Overall, Hallador's strategy seems pretty sound, but they'll need to keep delivering results to maintain that shareholder confidence. Still, a company focused on rewarding employees and keeping its finances in check is usually a good bet. Alright, that's our breakdown of Hallador Energy Company's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.